A lot has been happening in the MM2H space in Malaysia. Recently, Sabah, which is in Malaysian Borneo, neighbouring Sarawak, has announced their own version of the MM2H program. In this video, we're going to give you a rundown of the eligibility criteria, the application process. We'll share some of our thoughts on this visa and make a comparison to the other MM2H visa offerings available in Malaysia, being the Sarawak MM2H and the main MM2H program on Peninsular Malaysia. So you have a good idea of where this slots in and which MM2H may be best for you. My name is Aaron, I'm from Offshore in Asia. We help people move, invest and do business out in Asia. Head over to offshoreinAsia.com if you would like to learn more. All right, let's get into it now. The Sabah MM2H visa, some are referring to this as the SBH MM2H to differentiate it from the SMM2H, which is of course the Sarawak MM2H. Let's have a look at the financial requirements. So to be eligible for this visa, there is a fixed deposit of 150,000 Malaysian ringgit or 300,000 ringgit if you are a family. For proof of income, you have to demonstrate that you have 10,000 ringgit per month or 15,000 ringgit a month if you are applying as a family, and this has to be shown over a 3-month period. Now this next item is going to be a little bit controversial, and if this is going to turn people off, this will be the item that turns people off. There is a mandatory property purchase in Sabah and you have to spend at least 600,000 ringgit, and it has to be a high-rise purchase, a condo high-rise. You must hold the property for at least 5 years and then it can be sold, provided that you are exchanging it for another property that is worth at least 600,000 ringgit again. You can withdraw 40% of the fixed deposit after a 2-year holding period, and that can be used to fund property, a car deposit, education, children expenses or medical expenses. On to some of the other features of the visa now. It is a 10-year visa, which is a 5+5 renewable period. You have to complete a security check to do your renewal, and there is also a check that you have been adhering to the minimum stay requirements, which is 30 days per year cumulative. So it doesn't have to be in one stay. You could come for 15 days and then leave, come back for another 15 days. There's your 30 days, that's okay. There are no work rights with this visa, but business investment is allowed, and you have to be at least 30 years of age to apply. You can also bring your spouse if you are married. You can bring children under the age of 21. You can bring your parents and even your parents-in-law with you to Malaysia. Onto the application process now. So you have to show that you have we have to provide a certificate of good conduct, like a police clearance, a criminal check from your home country, and you have to have mandatory medical insurance for the entire period of your stay. Once you get conditional approval on your visa, you will have to come to Malaysia and perform a medical checkup. This is to ensure that you don't have any contagious diseases. Other health issues that aren't contagious are generally not a problem. You're going to have to pay a security bond that you will get back when you if you do leave the country eventually, and you have to have a local sponsor in Sabah. This will often be your agent who sets you up with the visa, and we can put you in touch with our partners in Sabah to provide the application process and act as your agent if you wish. So get in touch, offshoreinAsia.com, if you're interested in that. There is an annual visa fee of 500 ringgit per applicant, and also for each dependent that comes with you. And applications tend to take between 8 and 10 weeks. So how does this compare to the other visas that are available on the MM2H, being the mainland MM2H for Peninsular Malaysia or all of Malaysia, and also of course the Sarawak MM2H for Sarawak in Borneo that neighbours Sabah. The obvious competition for this visa will be the Sarawak MM2H, and when you look at the proof of income, it is slightly higher than in Sarawak, but there's not too much in it. So here you have to have 10,000 ringgit a month, and in Sarawak you need 7,000 ringgit a month. So most people who are eligible for this, they're probably going to be eligible for both visas. The fixed deposit is the same both in Sarawak and Sabah. It is 150,000 ringgit. One thing that does go in this visa's favour is the application period is very fast. They're saying between 8 and 10 weeks at the moment. It's a new visa, that could change. But when you compare that to the Sarawak MM2H that is very popular at the moment and has delays of at least 1 year, the fast application time probably is one of the main selling points of this visa. There are people who want to get things happening right now who don't necessarily want to wait up to 12 months, 15 months to get into Sarawak. Maybe they can't afford the main MM2H program. So this is where the Sabah program will become more attractive. People who want to get out here, living in Malaysia in a relatively quick period of time. The big drawback to this visa as we see it, and potentially it comes across as a bit of a miscalculation when they're doing their numbers on how many people they're going to attract. It is the mandatory property purchase of 600,000. That is going to turn a lot of people away from this visa. I think that if you're going to force someone to buy property, if there is a mandatory property purchase, then if you're being forced to do that, then there's a lot of those people are going to go and buy a property in KL instead. Sure, you're going to have to spend more money in KL. There's a minimum purchase of 1 million ringgit there, but there are other places in Peninsular Malaysia where you can buy a property as a foreigner for less than that. People will be asking, okay, if I'm going to buy a property, do I want to buy a property in Borneo? Or do I want to buy a property in KL? A lot of those people are going to tip in a bit more money and go to KL. If you do not want to buy a property, the only way you can get onto the MM2H program as it stands now is with the Sarawak MM2H. For this reason, we think that Sarawak is going to remain very popular. It could even push the waiting times out even further. But as I said, where Sabah could pull a few more of those applicants back over in their direction is the quick processing time, 8 to 10 weeks. That is very attractive. If Sarawak can improve their processing time, if they could get it down to say 3 months instead of 12 to 15 months, then I think the Sabah MM2H is not going to get many applicants at all. This visa could have been the #1 MM2H in Malaysia if they got rid of that mandatory property purchase. That is the thing that's going to turn a lot of people off. So there you have it, guys. There's a very quick rundown of the main points for the Sabah MM2H. If you want to learn more, read more about the detail, head over to offshoreinasia.com. We'll put a link up on this video when we have our article up on our website. That's going to have all of the up-to-date information and more detail on how you can get involved in this visa if that is something you're interested in doing. Let us know down in the comments what you think. Is it going to get many takers or is it going to be a bit of a flop? Thanks a lot for watching. We'll catch you later.